Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Make yourselves at home. All right.
Thank you, Ed.
We were
Great performance.
Trying to think of what might be a nice memento for you. So I want to give you this.
Nice one, Ed.
wow.
Want to tell her what it's about? Maybe you explain the guitar.
It's a guitar made by Gibson. There's only 300 of them in the world, and it's in aid of a charity that I co-founded for New Orleans, for the musicians of New Orleans. So it's very rare.
Well, thank
And
you.
a great little memento.
Let me guess.
I'm sure I've got something here. I'm sure. Fresh out. Larry's fresh out again.
All right, here we are. So I've got the Pope's shades, haven't I?
I'm actually. I'm getting a Terminator vibe off that.
Terminator vibe. I am
It's
being
just
terminated
I never saw
tonight.
the Arnold Schwarzenegger in Pat Kenny, yeah?
I'm really looking forward to Croke Park and the tour, because all sorts of things are promised for this. Engineering, the like of which has never been seen before. What are you planning?
It's really a bad idea sometimes when people actually agree with you and give you what you ask for. And in this case, for a long time, we said to people in our production team, we love it when we have people all around us, which we do sometimes indoors, but we've never had it outdoors. Can you help us figure it out?
You're playing in the round.
So Bono came up with this.
Yeah, people used to say that outside of Ireland that the best place to see U2 was Madison Square Gardens, and that's where you play in the round up at one end, and our audience say that's the best seats, and you know they're just there staring at the four arses, but they're in pretty good shape now, and it feels like you're on stage, sort of thing, and so we wanted to see could we apply this outdoors.
Everywhere.
Of course, how do you hang the gear from the sky, so to speak? So the engineering is to allow us
So
to
this
do
is
that.
the challenge.
We haven't seen it yet, but we've seen some footage of it as it's being built in Belgium. And I have to say, I looked at it today, I thought, oh my God, we've actually designed the Eiffel Tower. It's this huge thing. But it's
And
gonna be
you're opening
amazing.
in Barcelona? Is it Barcelona you're opening?
Yeah, on the 30th of June.
On the
You're all
30th.
very welcome. But there's no seats left.
So, you've been on the road for a long, long time, and besides the miracle of the four of you guys staying together, much of your crew is the same crew you started with, and your manager is
That's
also the same manager, Paul McGuinness.
Actually, that almost wasn't true. And there's a story, maybe tonight is the night to tell it, but we've never told, but there was a serious disagreement early on about his ability to get us a van. And there were negotiations and deals over getting us a van, and he said he could get us a van, but maybe, but we weren't good enough and this kind of thing. So we met in Captain America's, and we had a sort of powwow with the band where we discussed firing him, and we went through the ups and downs of it all, and we were there for about an hour, and this fella just walked up from the next table and he said, look, I'm really sorry to say this, but I couldn't help but overhearing what you were talking about, and I actually know the person you were talking about. I had that sinking feeling, and he said, this is a really, really big mistake. This is exactly the right manager for you too. You should really work it out, because this is a great, great guy. And I said, who are you? And he said, my name is Louis Walsh.
Wow.
That is the truth.
That is a true
the
story.
God's own truth. So I don't know if anyone knows that, but thank you, Louis.
That's another one for you.
I know that's true because I met him in a nightclub once, and he asked me for a cut.
Now, when you guys are playing Croke Park, is there a pressure on you to sort of... everyone's expecting you to lift the national gloom. That's your job, Larry.
Expectations are always high, and particularly in your homeland. But that's what we do. We fly the flag wherever we can, and nowhere prouder than in our homeland. So, you take the pressure on, understanding that your family and your friends are expecting great things. They hear about all this stuff you do around the world, and they want you to come home and show that you can do for them as well.
Larry was saying just a few days ago, So you can't not but talk about this. Everyone talks about it all the time. You know, what can we do? Can we do this? Can we do that? And in the end, I think what you were saying, and I thought it was smart, is just that we just have to, wherever we go, whether it's Barcelona, whether it's Chicago, is just tell people about this little gem, this little jewel on the North Atlantic, and how extraordinary its people are, and how innovative and how smart they are, and they'll get their way out of this mess. We're just going to tell them that nightly.
Tell them every night. I was wondering, I mean, you guys know each other forever and forever, but do you ever row?
It's like a family business. I mean, it's like being in business with, you know, your four brothers. So, I mean, we're four brothers, and it's just, you know, it gets rough. There's, as Adam was explaining, there's matters of personal hygiene.
Explain, Adam.
Well, I think bar the odd gust of wind, hygiene in cramped small places is very important. We're used to being in small little vans and travelling around the country.
And then there was the Lemon. That was very cramped. That was
The Lemon. Oh, yeah.
We travelled we had a little spaceship on a tour in the 90s called Pop Mart. And there was some very interesting goings-on in that Lemon.
Yeah.
That's enough of that.
Enough of that. If you are though, having an artistic discussion, you know, I want to do this, he wants to do that, someone else wants to do the other, who's the boss? You?
Whoever's got the best idea.
Really?
That's usually me. No, they. Unfortunately, it really isn't. And just having the loudest voice and the most persuasive, you know, tone does not mean it's the best idea, sadly. And that's why we're a band. Is very much depend on each other. And what we've learned to do is the individual egos are sort of subservient to a band ego, which is pretty big. But that's the way it works. So if the idea is a great idea, we soon forget who had it or, you know, where it came from. And I would say all four of us win the day on different days.
One of the things that intrigues me, this latest album has been described by some of the critics as possibly your best. And I'm just wondering, how do you manage to stay relevant? I mean, the Rolling Stones are touring kind of greatest hits tours, but you're still touring new music.
I think we're immersed in music. I mean, we haven't lost that thing of being the fans, you know, in the middle of a big bunch of people at the Clash show or Rory Gallagher or Thin Lizzy or those shows that made such an impact on us as kids. And I think we're still fans. We still go out, we buy the records, we listen to Dave Fanning or
We still call them records.
Johnny Kelly. And I think
We
that's
still pay for them.
that's a big part of it because we're so immersed in it.
All right, now, U2 is sometimes subsumed by the politics of your advocacy for various causes. Does that get up any of your noses, Adam, Larry, Edge?
For me, speaking personally, I think U2 was always interested in politics. I think that's where we came from. You know, in 1976, Dublin was, you know, a very different place than